All right, recording number 10 of chapter 5, Hester at her needle. And we are going to start right up here. Her imagination was somewhat affected, and had she been of a softer moral and intellectual fiber, would have been still more so by the strange and solitary anguish of her life. Walking to and fro with those lonely footsteps in the little world with which she was outwardly connected, it now and then appeared to Hester, if altogether fancy, it was nevertheless too potent to be resisted. She felt or fancied then that the Scarlet Letter had endowed her with a new sense. She shuddered to believe, yet could not help believing, that it gave her a sympathetic knowledge of the hidden sin in other hearts. She was terror-stricken by the revelations that were thus made. What were they? Could they be other than the insidious whispers of the bad angel, who would fain have persuaded the struggling woman, as yet only half his victim, that the outward guise of purity was but a lie, and that if truth were everywhere to be shown, a scarlet letter would blaze forth on many a bosom beside Hester Prynne's? Or must she receive those imitations, so obscure, yet so distant to truth? In all her miserable experience, there was nothing else so awful as so loathsome as this sense. It perplexed as well as shocked her by the irreverent inopportuneness of the occasions that brought it into vivid action. Sometimes the red infamy upon her breast would give a sympathetic throb, as she passed near a venerable minister or magistrate, the model of piety and justice, to whom the age of antique reverence looked up, as to a mortal man in fellowship with angels. What evil thing is at hand? Hester would say to herself, lifting her reluctant eyes. There would be nothing human within the scope of view, save the form of this earthly saint. Again, a mystic sisterhood would contemptuously assert itself as she met the sanctified frown of some matron, who, according to the rumor of tongues, had kept cold snow under her bosom throughout her life. This unsunned snow in the matron's bosom, and burning shame on Hester Prynne, what had the two in common? Or once more the electric thrill would giving her warning, "Behold, Hester Prynne is a companion," and looking up she would detect the eyes of the young maiden glancing at the scarlet letter shyly and aside, and quickly avert with a faint, chill crimson in her cheeks, as if her purity were somewhat sullied by a momentary glance. O fiend, whose talisman was the fatal symbol, wouldst thou leave nothing, whether in youth or age, for this poor sinner to revere? Such loss of faith is ever one of the saddest results of sin. Be it accepted as a proof that all was not corrupt in the poor victim of her own frailty, and man's hard law, that Hester Prynne yet struggled to believe that no fellow mortal was guilty like self. Okay? So basically we just see here just Hester just constantly feel like she's miserable, she's horrible, right? And it's hard for her to be compared to anybody else, okay?